Welcome back to Film My Watch List. I'm Richard Keeney. Today I'll be counting down my top 10 films of 2017. This is something I always agonize over. As with every year, many of the awards contenders for 2017, such as Three Billboards, Lady Bird, Loveless, The Square, and The Shape of Water, won't be released in Ireland until early 2018, which means in turn, some of the best films I saw this year might have been released elsewhere in 2016. Nevertheless, here's my top 10 films of the year according to Irish and UK release dates. Number 10. The Handmaiden. I'd been eagerly awaiting master South Korean director Chan-wook Park's Handmaiden for months, so when it was finally released this April, I jumped at the opportunity to see it. For fans of Park's previous films like his masterpiece Old Boy and more recently his highly underrated Stoker, this is a must-watch. This Korean rendition of Sarah Waters' novel Fingersmith is evoked to great effect. The film has stunning twists and turns, gorgeous production design, and the always sumptuous cinematography we've come to expect from the director's frequent collaborator, cinematographer Chung Hoon-chung, who, in addition to working on the vast majority of Park's previous work, shot the horror blockbuster It this year. Park continues to enthrall and push boundaries in his work, bringing the period to life in stunning fashion. I'll be rewatching The Handmaiden the next chance I get.
Number 9.
Salesman is the latest from another master filmmaker, Iranian Asghar Farhadi, Academy Award-winning director of A Separation and The Past. This Oscar-winning film is another perfect example of his ability to take everyday situational drama and construct a thrilling, suspenseful narrative from it. Reuniting with actor Shahab Hosseini, who stole every scene he was in A Separation, Farhadi tells the story of the clash between Iranian tradition and Western ideas. Hosseini is once again captivating, as the protagonist acting in a rendition of The Death of a Salesman. When he and his wife/acting partner, played brilliantly by Tarneh Ali-Doutsi from Farhadi's About Ellie, are forced to leave their home and move into a place owned by a friend of a friend, tensions run high and their safety is called into question. Iranian cinema is some of the most exciting in the world. For the uninitiated, The Salesman is a brilliant introduction. Number 8. Baby Driver was some of the best fun I've had in the cinema all year. Written and directed by Edgar Wright, famous for his Cornetto trilogy, including cult classic Shaun of the Dead, Baby Driver sees Wright taking his strong action sensibilities evident in his previous work and making them the centerpiece of this heist action caper. Some criticisms I've heard aimed at Baby Driver is that it's over-directed and that the music video-like rhythm to the film can become tiresome. I had the exact opposite reaction. The film is an exciting and deliriously entertaining love letter to American cinema. Wright is on top form with visual gags, spot-on choreography and a fantastic soundtrack, making Baby Driver a seriously entertaining ride. Number 7. Call Me By Your Name. I reviewed Call Me By Your Name in some detail a few weeks back, which you can see by clicking on the link below. However, I will say Luca Guadagnino's Oscar hopeful is a beautiful and stunningly shot portrayal of summer and adolescent heartache that deserves to be seen on the big screen. Timothée Chalamet is a revelation in a star-making turn, as is the terrific Armie Hammer. The film is a bit long, but it certainly serves the story and the deep connection we form with the main characters. With a number of standout scenes, unforgettable music, and a beautifully realised ending, Call Me By Your Name is definitely one of the best of 2017. Number 6. Manchester by the Sea. Another film that was released in 2016 elsewhere, and has already completed its awards run, I finally got the chance to see Manchester by the Sea in February. The film features, and I say this without hyperbole, one of the best and most affecting acting performances I have ever seen in Casey Affleck's portrayal of a broken man suffering a huge loss. Without ruining the progression of the plot, I'll just say that the film so deftly swings between hilarious moments and heartbreaking ones that it's one of the most human and emotional films I saw this year. Michelle Williams and Lucas Hedges are great in their supporting roles. Kenneth Lonergan's Manchester by the Sea is a beautiful film. Number 5. Only a filmmaker like the ridiculously talented and prolific Denis Villeneuve could take a property like Ridley Scott's iconic sci-fi masterpiece Blade Runner and arguably improve upon it. After last year's beautiful Arrival, not to mention his other incredible work from the past few years, Villeneuve creates a stunning and spectacular experience with Blade Runner 2049. Ryan Gosling is a dominating screen presence as Kay, Harrison Ford gives one of his best performances in years, and Ana de Armas steals the show as Joy. Villeneuve has really outdone himself. Almost every scene seems instantly iconic, but the seawall fight scene at the film's climax is a suspenseful and thrilling technical marvel. Hans Zimmer delivers a brilliant score, even though replacing Arrival's composer Johan Johansson at the last minute. Every single component of the film could be lauded at length, from Roger Deakins' achingly beautiful cinematography that he has to win his long overdue Oscar for, to the brilliantly authentic costume and production design, Blade Runner 2049, like its predecessor, is almost certainly a future sci-fi classic. Number 4. A Ghost Story. I reviewed A Ghost Story in my previous video on the top 10 underseen movies of 2017, which you can also check by clicking on the link below. To add to what I said before, A Ghost Story manages to use its initially silly sounding premise to comment upon the idea of time, transience, and life itself. Despite its slow start that comments upon these themes effectively, but may put off some viewers, David Lowery's A Ghost Story is a poignant and heart-achingly beautiful film. Number 3. La La Land. Damien Chazelle's follow-up to his stunning second film Whiplash has taken a lot of flack since its initial acclaim upon release. Many people like to point out that the film is unoriginal because it borrows heavily from Hollywood Golden Age musicals and isn't as good as the hype would have you believe. I completely disagree. La La Land is an audacious and gorgeous film, with an extremely addictive soundtrack composed by Justin Hurwitz and terrific performances from Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling. The film rightfully deserves the praise and accolades heaped upon it. It's a love letter to the unabashed enthusiasm of classic Hollywood that works as a homage whilst being a terrific original piece in its own right. Despite being full of memorable scenes and a gorgeously realised ending, my favourite moment would have to be the awe-inspiring one-shot A Lovely Night, in which Sebastian and Mia walk and talk, sing and dance with the beautiful backdrop of an LA sunset. Linus Sandgren's cinematography is one of the biggest sellers of the film, photographing the beautiful locations and set designs evocatively, and with a stunning saturated colour grade. But Damien Chazelle's effortless directorial flair and vision are what truly makes La La Land a modern classic. Number 2. The Florida Project. As before, I reviewed The Florida Project a few weeks back, which you can view by clicking on the link below. Sean Baker's follow-up to Tangerine is a delicate and humanistic look at childhood, and the beauty possible even in the most dire of situations. Brooklyn Prince is brilliant and hilarious in the lead role, and Willem Dafoe gives an empathetic, Oscar-caliber performance as the motel manager Bobby. Baker's direction of the largely untrained cast is inspiring, and his directorial choices ensure that you fall in love with the characters on screen. Because of this, the utterly heart-wrenching finale that is by turns upsetting, beautiful, and poetic in its execution is breathtakingly effective. If you haven't already, I implore you to seek out The Florida Project. And bring tissues. Number 1, and my favourite film of 2017, is Moonlight. Though any of the above films could be shuffled to be higher or lower on the list, Moonlight was my favourite cinema experience of the year. The Best Picture winner is a subtle, intoxicating, and stunningly crafted film. Following the coming of age of Chiron through 3 different points in his life, Moonlight conveys the societal pressure of growing up as gay in a poor Florida neighbourhood. The relationship between Chiron and Juan, Mahershala Ali's Oscar-winning role, is affecting and deeply human. It's a fitting testament to Barry Jenkins and his writing partner, Terrell Alvin McCraney's empathetic storytelling abilities that they can make a relationship between a young boy and his mother's drug dealer a beautiful narrative anchor point. The cinematography is a feast for the eyes, fittingly portraying the poetic source of the film's title. In Moonlight, black boys look blue. As with many of my favourite films this year, the ending is perfect. The film never resorts to melodrama or cliché, and in doing so takes smaller moments and draws authenticity and humanity from them. On top of the father-son-like relationship between Chiron and Juan, Chiron's relationship with Kevin is deeply moving and involving. All 3 actors who portray Chiron throughout the film are fantastic, but his third and final incarnation, played by Trevante Rhodes, is so good that you can't take your eyes off him. In Rhodes' portrayal of a vulnerable and sensitive young man who's hidden under his bulked-up exterior, his physical performance works as a metaphor for the character as a whole. A scared little boy trying to be tough. Barry Jenkins' direction and the classically influenced beauty that is Nicholas Britell's score take a young man's life and give it the emotional resonance of a Greek tragedy. Moonlight is a masterpiece that lives up to the hype. That concludes my top 10. 2017 was an extremely strong year for film, which I'm sure will be even more apparent to me once I get around to seeing those Oscar contenders in the new year. Here's some of my honourable mentions for 2017. Logan, Raw, Wind River, Jackie, and Mother. Post your top 10s for 2017 in the comments, I'd love to see them. Thanks so much for watching. Click on the link on screen to subscribe for more movie lists, reviews, and analysis.